Yes, these videos were all recorded in the same day. That's why I got the same shirt on. Now look, this video is about the true self. Because I'm starting another series called The True Self. The purpose, gosh darn, man. Sheesh. Now, the purpose of this series, right, is to point out things about the true self that will hopefully help people to gain a better understanding as to what the true self actually is. Because the true self cannot be described in words. It just can't. However, when you hear certain facts and when you gain a certain understanding of the true self, it makes it easier to experience the true self and to differentiate it from all the other different parts of yourself. You feel me? Alright, so look. What I've been seeing in the West, right? Like, if I read a book that's based off like Western philosophy and stuff like that, I start seeing that the human personality is what gets referred to as the self. The human personality is not the true self. It's cap. The true self relates to what's always true and what's always abiding inside of you. So, the shit that never changes and shit like that, you feel me? Your personality, right, can and probably already has changed multiple times. I mean, shoot, on a simple note, right? If you worked at Walmart one day, you were a cashier. If you work at Amazon, now you're a warehouse worker. Then when you go to sleep, you're a superhero. Then when you wake up and talk to your parents, you're now a child. Then when you have kids, you become a parent. You see, depending on what point of your life, depending on what point of life you're in, you feel me, is going to determine what you are in your personality, you feel me? So all this shit, right? This whole personality shit, right? It could change a lot. The way you acted when you were 5 may not be how you acted when you were 10. You feel me? And so on and so forth. The personality is always changing. That is not the true self. The true self is always what's abiding and what never changes. So look, now you gotta find out what is really true inside you. What's the thing that never changes and will always be the same? If your name is Brian, you're not actually Brian. If you have a dream, then depending on the dream that you have, you may not be Brian anymore. Sometimes parts of Brian may leak inside the dream. However, you are not always Brian. You don't know what the fuck you are sometimes. Yet somehow, even though you're not Brian, you're still experiencing the dream. So if you're not Brian, but you're still experiencing this dream, then who or what is experiencing the fucking dream? Because it's not Brian. Who the fuck is it? Alright, so look. All of us have experienced the true self at some point in our lives. You could have experienced it last night. Now, I could talk about the soul and the spirit and all that other shit, but that's not needed for this video. In order to understand what the true self is, just think about this. And you may have heard it on my channel before, but really just listen, pay attention, and even if you heard this shit before, still listen like you never heard this shit before. When you sleep at night, right, and you have a really deep sleep with no dreams, you experience a certain bliss and just a good feeling. Every time we get that real deep sleep with no dreams, right, you experience this bliss. You experience this good feeling and this rest. This shit never changes. Literally, it always feels the same. This shit never changes. Now, if you went to sleep with no dreams, right, but you never actually got deep, then you won't experience that deep, blissful sleep. However, when we get deep, we all know that good feeling. Anytime we have that real deep sleep, we all know what the fuck that feels like. That is where the true self is experienced. It's experienced in that sleep state, inside that nothingness. We may not see anything at all, but we could feel that shit. This is why spiritual people like Osho has said he is nothing.
For 32 years, I have been absolutely nothing.
And people like Sadhguru have said he's not a man or a woman.
Because as a man, I am what I am for the moment of action that I need to do. Otherwise, I am not even a man. That may be hard to digest, but I am not.
You feel me?
You believe that you are something, but if you really look into yourself, you are just a vast space, isn't it?
In your unawareness, you are something. In your awareness, you are always nothing. Please see.
Most of us are unaware, and because of that, we believe that we are actually this personality. We believe that we are actually somebody. Now, when you become fully aware of the true self, you realize that you are nothing and you are nobody. Now, when it comes to this deep sleep, this deep blissful state, right? Usually when we hit this shit, we fall unconscious because of how good it feels. It's like when people do drugs, right? Like when they do alcohol and shit like that, you feel me? The more they do, the more likely they are to actually pass out, you feel me? When people are intoxicated from drugs, they pass out. When we are intoxicated by the true self, we pass out, you feel me? Now, the only you that is there is your awareness, you feel me? If you have a dream, right, and you're a superhero, right, your personality may be completely different. However, the reason that you experience it is because you can observe that bitch. That's your awareness. Your awareness allows you to observe shit. You feel me? Now, most of our awareness is not trained to experience these high levels of bliss. You feel me? We aren't trained to experience these deep levels and to experience our true self. You feel me? So because of that, we fall unconscious. You feel me? If we are in a deep, if we're fuck,
Nigga, what?
if we're in a deep sleep for 8 hours, we don't experience black for all 8 hours. At some point, we experience absolutely nothing and then we just wake up. Now, most of the time, it don't even feel like 8 hours. You feel me? It's just that, we went to sleep, we woke up, and we're like, holy shit, I feel rested. This is because our awareness, right, was still there. It's just that we aren't able to really stay conscious. It's like we're silently there, just barely watching. And all that we remember is when we wake up and how good we fucking feel. Now, yogis, right, who don't sleep are able to experience this bliss state without falling unconscious. That's why people like Sadhguru and Osho have been able to clearly come out and say that they are nothing and stuff like that because they have experienced this state consciously. They don't just get knocked the fuck out when they experience it. Now, sometimes they actually probably do. I bet for a fact that they do because Sadhguru has told stories how when he thought he was sitting for like 20 minutes, he was there for like 13 days and shit like that. You feel me? That's because like that state is a very high state, so it's very easy to fall unconscious and shit like that. You feel me? Like it feels amazing, right? And the more trained you are, the more you can experience. You feel me? That's how the shit works. Their awareness is trained to experience the bliss. Therefore, they stay aware and they're able to fully experience that bliss rather than feeling it, falling asleep, and then waking up with the memory of what happened. You feel me? That nothing is the true self. You feel me? That nothing is where the true self is experienced at. And if your awareness is not ready, then when you go deeper and deeper and deeper, you're just going to fall unconscious. You feel me? Knowing the true self is important because when we don't know the true self, we suffer. When you don't know the true self, you can't perceive life the correct way. Your philosophy is going to be incorrect. You will always see yourself as an individual who's experiencing life. This means that things will happen to you. You feel me? When the true self is fully realized, there is no more individual. Nothing happens to you. Everything that happens is you. It's just like a dream. When you have a dream, right, it comes from that nothingness. It comes from that empty space, right? Everything inside that dream is made of you. And you don't realize that if you believe that you are a separate personality that's experiencing the dream, aka the dream personality, you feel me? Likewise, in this reality, everything literally is you, but you experience it as an individual dream character, aka your personality. Although this may not make full sense now, as you connect to the true self, you begin to understand exactly what me and other people are talking about. That's why I'm making this series, to hopefully give you guys a clear understanding of the true self that will allow you guys to be able to experiment and experience the true self for yourself. And with that being said, that's the end of this video.